crying babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about control air or the weather, I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double, but nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't fear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Yes. Yeah, let's start off being completely let's go off the deep end and let's just say Trump's name definitely not on the list. I know, exactly. Exactly. Hey y'all, don't worry, Trump's name is not on the list. That's why we're going to withhold the Epstein files. We're going to redact every damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Because his name ain't on the list. I mean, and not only is his name not on the list, a whole lot of other people's name ain't on the list. You know, innocent people that just happen to be there. You know, people from Palm Beach. You know, people who just happen to be in Palm Beach and Epstein Island, around Epstein all the time. But, you know, their names ain't on the list either, you know? Wow, it has. Thank you for saying that, because it has been a really wild experience watching the news. The news is ongoing. The news is rapid. It's like rapid fire news. Rapid fire shit. I mean, Trump is all over the place. Marines, National Guard. You know, we're going to clean up the homeless. All of a sudden, he's got a homeless plan, and he didn't even run on a homeless plan. You know, Democrats said, hey, we need more funding, more support for homeless shelters, you know, to get people off the street, more houses. Don't y'all remember Kamala Harris saying for affordable housing for people that have 2 and 3 jobs so they don't end up homeless? Trump didn't run on that platform, but now he's all about the homeless across the whole country. Got to clean up the homeless. Got to clean up the homeless. If you think Trump gives a damn about the homeless at all, you out your damn mind, because Trump definitely doesn't care about the homeless. Trump right now, if he could take a rocket ship off to prove that the moon was was a hoax. The landing of the moon was a hoax. If he could do that job, he would go and send some people out to do that right now, because Trump is definitely on that list, and a lot of other people that he knows are on that list, and he's begging that list to not be distributed to the public. And sorry, but that damn list is going to get released one way or the other. Now, you can fight tooth and nail, but again, the United States of America will never know freedom, will never know peace if that list is not released. So you got a choice. Let the country go into hell. Let it be ruled by people that are authoritarian, and let it be ruled by foreigners. Let it be ruled by people outside who already have this list and have been using it to blackmail people like Trump and others. You could choose that future if you want, or you could choose a clean future without foreign involvement, without people, twisting your congressional members' arms and legs, and your senators' arms and legs, because who knows how many of them are on that list. Now, it's so funny because lately there's been also reporting on how many GOP leaders are in the closet and are actually gay, who are extreme right-wingers. Lindsey Graham, for one, but he's not the only one, they're saying. There's loads of them. There's been some articles by some gay sex workers in Washington, D.C. that have been outing the GOP. And they say they don't want to do this, but they're saying that they definitely have a long list of GOP members that have wives that fake these lives, but actually actually signed anti-gay legislation, but are in fact themselves in the closet. So the Epstein files is just like having these sex workers. It's the same thing. The only difference is that these sex workers have said they're not going to turn. They don't believe in that. They're not going to flip on these people, but they're just saying, politically speaking, you got some hypocrites out there in the GOP, and you might want to take a look at them. You might want to take a closer look, media, to do these stories. Legacy media might want to go into the sex trafficking rings. But the Epstein files is no different. I mean, you got loads of people up inside of that could have influence over your life. It could be Supreme Court judges. It could be congressional members. It could be people, that businessmen that are very right-wing extremists that sleep with little girls, that go out there to the public and preach to everybody else about what it is to be a conservative and heritage. We got to keep our heritage together, and actually go out there and rape little girls. And if you don't get your hands on the unredacted list, you will never get to the bottom of it. But let's go and listen to some of Trump's beautiful words that he's left the public, in the last few days. And our leader, our faithful leader, Mr. Trump.
Absolutely. And I just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will...
Now, what I like about this is that this is a clear indication of who else has the Epstein list. It's a foreign leader by the name of Vladimir Putin. Seems to be Trump's boyfriend, if not daddy. One or the other, pedophile daddy of Trump, you could say, because he is really screwing Trump over and over and over and over and over and over and sticking it in. And Trump is out here on international news crying every day, having to come out and talk about how nice his good friend Vladimir Putin is. I mean, we've heard more about Vladimir Putin than we have homeless people. Vladimir Putin gets more say than poor white MAGA voters. You hear more about Vladimir Putin. He ain't said shit about getting any housing for trailer trash. Zero. But Vladimir Putin is his hero. I mean, I don't think this is coincidence. No. You're hearing about the Epstein files because they're real. And you're hearing about Putin at the same time. You're watching your president squirm and weasel around, scrap and scrape. What did Puff Daddy say about a scraping and scratching? I like it when you're scraping and scratching, baby. I like it when you're scraping and scratching, daddy. That's what he's saying about Trump. Putin is saying that about Trump right now. Let's listen.
He will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things.
He may be coming and he may not. Well, damn, that's carte blanche. It should, basically.
Things happening over the next couple of weeks.
This is carte blanche. You don't get a better invitation than that. He may be coming, he may not. It's all up to him whenever he wants.
But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice.
Look at this.
It was sent to me. Okay.
Mr. President, on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything.
This sounds like what a prostitute says to a pimp. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about this. And then the pimp tells her, who her daddy is. I've been taking care of you, baby. I love you. I love you, baby. Trust me, baby. I'm going to fix that. I love you. This is what is going on. It's like Trump cannot say no to Putin. He cannot. He has to give Putin chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. And that is exactly what victims of sex crimes express if you bother to listen to them. That's what they express. People say all the time, how come you didn't just leave? How come you didn't just stop? Is it because you wanted to? It's called gaslighting. They get gaslit, where you hold something over their head, an idea, but in this case, it's not an idea. Trump knows exactly what it is. I mean, you may not be able to prove it in a court of law, but I damn sure believe that Trump knows exactly why he's doing this. And it's not an accident at all that he keeps bending over and taking it in the backside from Putin and international news, and willingly at this point. I mean, when you open up your meeting and you hold a damn picture up of the dude who is the enemy of the United States of America and said he may be coming.
That's a man named Vladimir Putin.
Couldn't he have kept this to himself? What's the relevance of showing this to the world? Look at this. This is his daddy. He's telling you.
Who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was.
I'm going to kiss his ass while he bombs American factories. I'm going to hold up a picture of Vladimir Putin and tell everybody how good he is at shoving it in my ass every day while he bombs the country I claim to represent. I mean, this is Trump for you. This is Trump for you. He's either that or he's in love with the man.
It was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President, on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir?
And do not try to tell me that he cannot be gay. Trump might be gay, like flat out. For all you people that are homophobes that are out there, he must be gay, gay, gay. You call liberals gay. Trump might be gay as fuck. Okay? Like, what woman dare touches him? Have you seen one? I mean, one that he hasn't forced himself on. Like, seriously. I mean, where's the wifey at? Where's the wifey? I don't think it's happening. I mean, you can't convince me. You cannot convince me. This dude now, don't get me wrong. He's a whole lot of other shit, too, at the same time. Pervert, lunatic, psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, all that other shit. People have called him rapist. Yeah. Also, he's a damn felon. You know, all those things, racist, all those things mix into one, but he could also be gay.
Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, you don't know if Trump went to Russia and they ran a train on him, some generals. You don't know, and got a videotape of it, because this is very strange behavior. Very strange behavior. He held that picture up like, damn. He didn't even hold up Melania's picture like this. It's like,
he may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President, on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I settled not 7.
Now, if you had the Epstein files and you were talking to Trump and you have Trump on tape messing with little girls, would you give a fuck if Trump liked it or not that you bombed an American factory? No. No, you wouldn't. If you had compromising information on Trump, if you had something that you could always hold over Trump's head that Trump feared, would you give a fuck if he liked it or not that he bombed an American factory? Obviously not. No, you wouldn't. Now, the next thing you know, you're going to hear Trump come out and be like, oh, well, he said he was sorry after.
Wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. You know, I'm not
Wolf.
happy about
Wolf. Exactly, Wolf. Here we go. Let me pin that. And let me pin. When it comes to Putin, he would get down on his knees and give his best BJ in life. Absolutely, bro. I believe you. 100% Wolfie.
nothing.
Or
Not
sister,
happening.
whichever one you
See
are,
what
Wolfie.
happens.
29. There
I
you go.
think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And
Look, the man bombed an American factory, and he's talking about, I told him over the next couple of weeks we're going to find out whichever way it goes. Oh my God. Dude, where are your kahunas? Where is the U.S. military on this? Like, U.S. military, if you're out there and this is your leader, we in goddamn trouble. The United States of America is in goddamn trouble. You can bomb an American factory, and this is the response while he is sending you all to attack American citizens. Putin can just bomb a goddamn American factory. Can it not be any clearer? Can it not be any clearer that he must have Epstein files and a whole lot of other dirty shit, maybe even dirtier shit on Trump? I'm just saying. I mean, I know for a fucking fact. It doesn't matter if it's going to be proven or not. Any rational person knows for a fact they must have something on Trump. They must. And a whole lot. Whatever it is, it's a whole heaping whole lot. You know, this man, Trump, will go out there and send the military, same military that's supposed to be fighting Russia and other enemies of the United States, send them out there on the American streets to combat American people. And at the same time, if an enemy of the United States bombs an American factory, the best this MFer can stand there and say after he holds up the picture of the dude that bombed the factory, the best he can say is, well, I talked to him in a couple of weeks, we're going to find out. Okay, that's U.S. military. This is your leader. This is who's leading you. This is the person you take orders from. This is the person you take orders from right now, which by de facto makes you a bunch of wusses. By de facto, it makes you every bit as soft as what he is. Every bit. He's your leader.
I better be very happy.
How long are you willing to wait?
A very good call with Prime Minister Carney of Canada yesterday morning.
Yes.
Actually, Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah. He's
Look,
removing his...
check this out. Somebody asked in the media, in the White House, these are journalists from that have to be approved to come into the White House. They asked him a question. What about the American factory that was just bombed in Ukraine? And somebody put in the chat, what factory? Yeah, what factory? Because Trump is not telling you it didn't happen. Nobody in the White House said, oh, that's a lie. They didn't say none of them said that's a Democrat hoax. Listen.
Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening.
He bombed a factory, a U.S. factory in Ukraine. And he's like, he may be coming or he may not.
Next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President, on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it. And I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war.
So he did talk to Putin about the American factory bombed in Ukraine. He did. He just admitted it. So it doesn't even matter what fucking factory it was anymore. The man just admitted that Putin bombed a U.S. factory in Ukraine. And all he said was, I'm not happy with it. After showing his picture, hey, this guy's a nice guy. Putin's a nice guy. Here we are, y'all. Putin. Ooh. This is who's leading the U.S. military right now. So the U.S. military is every bit as weak as this man is to Putin. Every bit as weak to him.
I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack.
Then he just deviates off to imaginary shit to compare.
In terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And I better be very happy.
How long are you willing to wait?
A very good call with Prime Minister Carney of Canada yesterday morning.
Yes.
Actually, Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah.
Exactly.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice. And we're going to have another call soon. Okay. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an agreement on trade?
I like them. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico take a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years, especially during the Biden years. They took a lot of our business, and it's basically all coming back into the United States.
Yeah, Patrick Van, exactly, his famous 2 weeks.
Because of tariffs and the incentives we give, it's coming back. And it's impossible, I think, for another country to stop it. And we are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like Carney a lot. I think he's a good person. And we had a very good talk yesterday. So I think it'll be good.
Mr. President.
But he didn't hold up Carney's picture, though.
I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The vice about him. What are the concerns?
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam in the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today, but my house was raided also, called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, So I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Mr. President, how...
JEB, Jeb, no, he's not doing anything about the American factory bombed by the Russians in Ukraine. He just held the man's picture up and praised him and said, oh, well, I talked to him about it and I said I didn't like it. And then he's going to wait for a couple of weeks.
How long will you give Putin?
A couple of weeks. We're going to figure it out. We'll find it.
Do you think you'll have to intervene at some point?
Look, it takes two to tango. You understand that. I wanted to have a meeting with those two. I could have been at the meeting, but a lot of people think that nothing's going to come out of that meeting. You have to be there. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But we're going to see. In the meantime, people continue to die. But I've solved 7 of them where they were in wars for 31, 35, and 37 years. We had 3 of them that were for more than 30 years, Johnny, and I got them solved. And we solved one that could have been a nuclear war with India and Pakistan. That was getting ready to be a nuclear war. I solved them all. And this one, I thought we would have had it done by now, but it's more different. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. There's a tremendous amount of hatred there. But we'll see what happens.
Look at this.
2 weeks we'll know
A name.
I'm going.
A name says this, y'all. You want to send me to war with Russia. You want to send me to war with Russia because politicians tell you to hate them. No, no, no. Trump wants to send you to war against American citizens to clean up the homeless. There's your job, buddy. I hope you like it. Americans against Americans now. That makes everybody safer, buddy. You must be out your mind, man.
I'm going to go one way or the other, and they'll learn which way I'm going.
Mr. President.
If I got 2 questions for you, one on FIFA, the other one on DC. Let's talk. Can you talk about the economic impact that FIFA will have in these cities, and what's your message to the mayors to get their cities prepared, not only the beautification process, but also
Sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
I'm in support of keeping it open.
If they wanted to
innocent
release,
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people.
Okay, so here's the part. Innocent people shouldn't be hurt. What innocent people could be hurt in releasing the Epstein files? If you redact the victims' names, what other innocent people is he talking about? This guy's talking about a whole lot of innocent people. And in fact, guess what innocent people he's talking about? He is very much likely talking about the people that assaulted these women and are also blackmailed on tape or audio or something. Right? He's very much likely talking about them. I mean, because after all, what other people could it be that are innocent? Who is he talking about? And why would he care? Why would that be a point? You're innocent, so what's the problem?
People that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff.
if they wanted to,
People shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the.
So he wants the list to be released, but not innocent people. Don't release names of innocent people, because he is requesting that. So he's requesting Pam Bondi hide people's names, literally, who he claims are innocent people. But if they're innocent people, why do you need to hide their names? If they haven't done anything, what's the point in hiding their names? I mean, so it's so obvious he's talking about guilty people or people that are in government or people that are in high places, movers and shakers, maybe lawyers, maybe prosecutors, maybe judges or others. It could be wealthy businessmen inside of the United States. Hell, it could be people in his cabinet. You don't know, but he's already saying he doesn't want other people's names released also.
Presidency. And the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff. But it affected them. Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island supposedly 28 times. I don't want to bring that up, frankly. You have Larry, whatever his name.
He keeps saying Bill Clinton's been to the island supposedly. Supposedly. Okay, supposedly. So did he or did he not? What is this supposedly stuff? Just release it if he did. Did he do something wrong or did he not do something wrong? Release it so we can all know. But this man just got finished saying he doesn't want to bring it up. But Bill Clinton. Then he acts like they didn't run on this. See, this is the funny thing about it. They literally ran on a platform of release the Epstein files and claimed that it was part of a Democrat cover up, a part of a Democrat Kabbalah. That's what they literally ran on. And as soon as they got in office, they began to cover up the Epstein files. So this is grade A military war style gaslighting on American people. They do something for years and years and years. For 4 years, they said that about Biden. Talked about the Epstein files for 4 years. Soon as they get in office, now they're not going to release it. And they claim that every time they bounce right back to what the Democrats did. Well, the Democrats this and the Democrats that. Joe Biden this. OK, so who's not releasing the files right now? Is it the Democrats not releasing the files right now? Is it the Democrats that ran on the release the file platform? No. So everything he's doing is only blaming Democrats, and he's never going to release these files. So it's very obvious that it is likely not what Trump says it is, at the very least.
His name is Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey Epstein.
And then here's another gaslighting thing. They always say, well, if Trump was in the files, the Democrats would have released it. OK, so let's apply that theory right now. If Democrats were in the files, wouldn't Trump release it then, according to that same logic? But that's not the point. When your country is being blackmailed, the point should not be Democrat or Republican. The point should be real Americans should want to know. That should be the point. Real Americans should not want their country being blackmailed, their leaders being blackmailed. Real Americans should not want that. I could understand if people that hate the U.S. could care less and not want to know what's in the Epstein files. I could understand that perfectly. Because you would want your leader to have that information. If you're not an American citizen, you might want them to have that information so that they can blackmail the U.S. leadership. You might actually want that. But if you're a real American, you wouldn't want that unless you're just totally biased. There's no reason why a Republican or a Democrat will want any of their leaders being blackmailed, any of their judges being blackmailed, any of their prosecutors, federal prosecutors being blackmailed, any aristocrats being blackmailed that you give government funding to. Right? Like Elon Musk. I mean, he's the one in the picture with Ghislaine Maxwell, but we'll get to Elon Musk. I mean, I'm not saying you can throw everybody in the same pile because there's obviously a lot of opportunists here. But, why would you be? Who are you more concerned with? Are you concerned with your country's welfare first? Or are you concerned with Elon Musk or Trump's welfare? Who are you concerned about? Are you concerned about Bill Clinton's personal welfare first in his business or anything like that? Or are you concerned about the survival of your country? You got to pick one or the other. You have to.
His best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. But I don't want to hurt Larry Summers, but he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. No, this is a Democratic hoax to try and get the significance of what we've done over the past 7 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They say it's #1 in history. What we've done, including stopping 7 wars. Just include that. And now you look at the stock market today. It's way up to start.
Can anybody name a war that Trump stopped? What war did Trump stop? I've never met somebody from Rwanda or the Congo, and there's plenty of people from Rwanda and the Congo in Denmark, and I know a lot of them. I haven't heard one of them say, "Yay, Trump, man, you stopped the 30-year war." I've never heard one of them. What about the people in the Sudan? They're in war right now. It's the worst famine crisis on earth. I've never met any of them that say, "Hey, yeah, hurrah, Trump, man, you really did something great here." Who's saying that but outside of Trump? I mean, now the leaders might say that when they're in a meeting and they want something from him right now on a transactional level, like right now. Leaders tend to do that. They tend to, pat people on the back when they want something from them right now in that political moment. But that shouldn't be what citizens go for. Citizens should be smarter than that. Regular everyday people need to be smarter than that.
Start off with from where I took it. And this market was going to crash. If Joe Biden or Kamala were president, this market we would have had a crash like in 1929. You're not going to have that. It's only a question of how high is it going to go. I had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And despite COVID, we had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And we're going to blow it away this time. I was always good at making a lot of money. And whether it was for myself or whether I like doing.
He was always good with making a lot of money. So why did the man go bankrupt so many times? I mean, anyway, let's go further. Let's go further because you've heard Trump open it up. I mean, Trump, he's really good at opening it up. You heard him beg Pam Bondi to not release innocent people's names, not just the victims, but other innocent people that just happened to be living in Palm Beach. That's people that were around Jeffrey Epstein, going to his crib, hanging out, right? Also, people that maybe weren't charged of crimes, but could have molested little girls and could be blackmailed also. That includes that. Those are what he calls innocent people, because in the technical sense of the term, in the criminal sense, innocent means not convicted. That's all that means. It doesn't mean you didn't do a damn thing. Okay, that's how Trump is using this term.
Leaking the possibility through various news agencies.
So I actually got distracted last night, or the last time I went live, with these Ghislaine Maxwell audio tapes. I'm going to finish that up. But before I go to the Ghislaine Maxwell audio tapes later on today at a different time, I'm going to do a cast about brown shirts to black shirts. And those of you that know about Germany and how Hitler came into power and the groups of folks on the ground and stuff like that they had harassing people first. And then all of a sudden it went to a government agency that took over harassing the people, this kind of stuff, and doing a comparative study on what Trump is doing. Before I do that, I'm going to do some more the second half of the Ghislaine files and critique that. But really, y'all, it's just a bunch of bullshit. So let's just let Lawrence sum it up. Big up to Lawrence O'Donnell for staying on Trump's ass, day after day after day after day after day. I don't know how many hundreds of days it's been. It's been hundreds, 400s, 500, 1,000.
A transcript will be released of Todd Blanche's interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. There is no possibility that transcript will include all of Todd Blanche's communication with Ghislaine Maxwell and her criminal defense lawyer, who is a personal friend of Todd Blanche. As Donald Trump kept rambling about Todd Blanche, and the reporter kept asking, but what about her? Donald Trump ignored that question, what about her, and didn't say a word about Ghislaine Maxwell. This time, Donald Trump did not say, I wish her well, which Donald Trump has said before about the woman who was convicted of recruiting children to have sex with Jeffrey Epstein and sexually abusing those children herself. Tonight, ABC News is reporting, quote, during her 9 hours speaking with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche last month, Ghislaine Maxwell said nothing during the interview that would be harmful to President Donald Trump, telling Blanche that Trump had never done anything in her presence that would have caused concern, according to sources familiar with what Maxwell said. That was obviously the mission Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer embarked on: get Ghislaine Maxwell to say nothing that would be harmful to Donald Trump. And then Ghislaine Maxwell immediately got transferred from a serious federal prison in Florida, meant to house, among others, sex criminals, to the easiest federal custody facility that exists in America for women, which is not meant to house. The rules had to be changed by Donald Trump's Justice Department to get Ghislaine Maxwell into that much more pleasant facility that is located in Texas near members of her family. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers lied today in a motion opposing the release of grand jury testimony in her case. The lawyers made the legitimate point that I've made on this program, that Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal is still pending before the United States Supreme Court. So grand jury transcripts should not be unsealed in a case that could conceivably go back for a retrial. That is a serious legal point. But the lawyers went beyond that and claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell is a scapegoat. That was their word. And that's the word that they want out there.
That's the word they want out there. And that's exactly why they released it, and I'm pretty sure most people can see right through it. It's pretty obvious. And, there's not much else people can do. But let me address this comment here. Tia Calenshaw said 64 Trump businesses that failed, and these include 6 bankruptcies for many billions of dollars altogether. 64 Trump businesses that failed. And that included 6 bankruptcies. That's 6 bankruptcies for many billions of dollars. That's American taxpayer dollars. And I believe I don't know if those are federal bailouts or state bailouts, either one, but Trump has not been kind to the very state he actually grew up in and comes from, New York. He has been very bad to New Yorkers. He's been a bad New Yorker, a bad American, basically. And a bad immigrant coming from a bad immigrant family, doing all kinds of stuff. But Trump, here's the interesting part, too, something else. Trump bankrupted 3 casinos, which no one thought was even possible at the time. Look, 3 casinos, and the 3 CEOs or the presidents, whatever, the head dudes of each one of those casinos died in a mysterious helicopter crash that Trump invited them on, and then at the last second called them and said he won't be joining them. They should get on the helicopter and meet him at the next location. That's what you're dealing with right now with Trump. And it's horrible. It's sad, but it is what people seem to like in the United States of America often. Not the majority, because we still don't know how much of this election was fickled with. There's reports coming out every day on groups that do election analysis, right? And of course, it's always post-election analysis. And right now, I believe the next report they're going to issue is on North Carolina. They're going to show what their results are, and they're actually taking it to court. So these are not just people doing reports for no reason. These are people going into the courts with their findings. But on that note, Elon Musk, he had a response to some of this, which has been going on. And let's see here. This is Disclosed TV, which is, But in any case, so let me, can I get this? Oh, here we go. Remove that. Now, just in, U.S. DOJ and FBI joint Epstein memo. There was no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals part of his actions. So you can tell that because they're answering this, that is a question that most people have in the United States in relation to the Epstein files. Was there blackmail involved? And they're attempting to shoot that down in one simple statement. Well, Elon Musk responds to that. So then what was Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for? Stuff like this does not improve people's faith in government. And you know what? I actually agree. I mean, it doesn't improve people's trust in government. But, I would just even have to say, if they're trying to just tell you that people do this, just that this much organizing, Ghislaine Maxwell And even if you want to just put it all on Epstein, since he's conveniently dead and died during Trump's term in office under Bill Barr's leadership, right? If you just want to believe that they did all of this for the sake of having fun, if you want to just believe that, your brain operates on an incredibly simple-minded level, because that's a whole lot of work put into something that any rich person could just buy any day of the week and not end up in any scandal on. I mean, you could obviously see there's plenty of states you could go to that where prostitution goes on. I believe even is Arizona, I don't know, one of these states in the US, it's not so, illegal. But there's other countries where it's not illegal. And by the way, whatever happened to just being married or having a girlfriend? What the hell? That's also legal, So it makes you wonder. There's loads of ladies, women, if you're a guy, or guy, if you're a lady, that would love to go out with a person that has a whole lot of money for a couple of days and not be married to them. So your brain has to really, really be simple-minded to think that so much orchestration someone would do just for the sake of what? Providing pleasure? Like, we're talking about billionaires and rich people. Do they have that hard of a time finding a girlfriend? Is it really that hard to find one? So you have to go find a minor? Like, is it really that hard? So this is not just about getting your rocks off. This is about something else. It's obvious. It's pretty obvious, but nonetheless, Musk followed up on it. Here we go. We need release the Epstein list. Now, keep in mind, this is the same people that right-wing folk said, we love it. We love that you raided we love that Trump gave you the order to raid the Treasury with others under your arm that are hackers. Keep in mind, this is the same person. This is the same person that bankrolled Trump's presidency. This is the same person that basically allegedly went out there and bought votes in Pennsylvania, said, I'm going to give you a check if you register to vote. Hence, also support my president, the one who I want to be president, right? This is what's going on. And me, myself, I'm a little bit skeptical that he's really against Trump for the same reasons that a normal person would be against Trump. But I mean, facts are facts, no matter who it's coming from. We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. Yeah, that's how they did it. There's no Epstein list now. There's no Epstein list. And people are just going to have to accept it or not accept it. I mean, either way, accept it or not accept it. Joe Rogan is a person who's not accepting it. He thinks it's a little bit strange. But again, another person who promoted Trump, used his platform, largely responsible for Trump being president, he's now changed his mind. He's changed his mind.
Here's what I don't get. He's been sitting on the Epstein files this whole time, and every time someone brings it up, suddenly there's some brand new emergency. Putin gets to keep part of Ukraine. Job numbers are fake. Let's investigate Letitia James. Investigate Jack Smith. It's like, dude, just release the files. If your name's not in there, you'd think you'd want everyone to see them, right? But instead, it's constant shiny distractions, while the one thing that matters just stays locked up. Look, man, if you still think he's playing 4D chess, I hate to break it to you, the guy's barely playing checkers. And he's eating the pieces. I mean, come on, how much horse shit before you realize your alpha male is just an...
Now, for people that don't know this, Joe Rogan has been going out on Trump, every day for the last few weeks. He's made loads of comments about Kash Patel, about Trump, about the Epstein list. There's loads of them. I don't know how many of you actually go and watch Joe Rogan yourself, but it's being reported across loads of news platforms. So and many different statements. They're commenting even on CNN. So if you should happen to think that this for some reason is not right, think about this. Joe Rogan could sue any of those platforms if it was incorrect information for millions and millions and get a public apology, and they would probably settle overnight if for any reason something was not said of Joe Rogan in this clip that they disseminated.
An 80-year-old dude with early dementia spray tanning his face at 3 a.m. while rage tweeting about Rosie. So here's what I don't get. He's been sitting on the Epstein files this whole time, and every time someone brings it up, suddenly there's some brand new emergency. Putin gets to keep part of Ukraine. Job numbers are fake. Let's investigate Letitia James. Investigate Jack.
So he said the accusation, and it's not only Joe Rogan making this accusation. Joe Rogan and everybody else, pretty much, that doesn't agree with Trump is saying that everything Trump is doing is because of the Epstein files. So he's finding more things to get engaged in. Venezuela, anything to change the news cycle. And if you know anything about American voters and Americans, the news cycle, this is not the first time this has come up in the U.S. I mean, often people have blamed presidents for starting wars just to change the news cycle. It's been Democratic presidents have been accused of that. Republican presidents have been accused of that. So this concept is not new in the American thinking, right? At least if you read the newspapers. Nowadays is just watch the news, right? But nonetheless, this is the same accusation being leveled at Trump, right? And people are saying all you had to do is release the Epstein files and then it would go away. But for some reason, Trump will not release the files, and he is more concerned about people, friends of his in Palm Beach and others whose names are in the files coming out. And he's said it. He's just openly said it. That's what Trump has been saying. That's all he's been saying lately, it's just what it is. Here, let's play it again.
Sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
Keeping it open.
If they wanted to
innocent
release...
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve.
You got a lot of people that could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. So he's not talking about the victims. He's talking about other people in Palm Beach that he knows. And obviously, if these people were not important people to him, why would he even take that position? For example, if it was just Bill Clinton, would he take that position? No. If it was a political opponent in those files that he was concerned about, would he take that position? No. This is obviously people he favors for one reason or another that he's worried about being mentioned. And he's concerned about them being harmed. What did he say? This is crazy.
Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
Keeping it open.
If they wanted to release...
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months. It could be mentioned. Keeping it open.
If they wanted to
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat.
Files over to the House Oversight Committee. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
Keeping it open.
if they wanted to
Innocent
release?
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff. But it affected them. Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island supposedly 28 times. I don't want to bring that up, frankly. You have Larry, whatever his name is, Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey's best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, but I don't want to hurt Larry. His best friend.
Look at how he just so casually brings up the people he wants to bring up. I don't want to talk. And then he says, I don't want to talk about that. Nobody was talking about Larry. What the fuck? He just brought up Larry, but he doesn't want the files to be released. I mean, he is mentioning people in the files, but at the same time, he doesn't want other people who are innocent, right? Who could be hurt to be mentioned, who just happen to live in Palm Beach. But then he's just actively releasing people's names and saying, nobody ever talks about them. I mean, I don't know. Listen, this is dangerous on so many levels, because you got espionage, you have child trafficking, right? You have then you have this guy. It was obviously a conspiracy to gain power. So the secrets behind who was involved are very, very dangerous, because Trump obviously knows more than he's letting on. So he's using that power himself, leveraging that power himself, while he doesn't want the American people to know. Foreign leaders are leveraging that power over him because they have access to it. So this is obviously very, very dangerous to Americans, period, of left or right. This is dangerous no matter if you think it is or not. This is dangerous and a waste of U.S. taxpayer dollars on every single level, because this guy is the president. So every decision that he's making, could be affected by this. He obviously is not able to act against Putin for one reason or another. And it appears that it's because of same or similar types of allegations that have been made against him by other Americans inside of the United States. One who actually claimed to be a victim of Trump's. I mean, and she claimed that she was a victim of Trump at the age of 12, 13 years old, something of that effect. I can't remember her name, but she has a video that has circulated widely on the net. Let's check it out.
That she had a whole bunch of different wigs. Came to this interview on my free will, on my own free will.
Okay. Was anything promised to you if you do this interview?
There was nothing promised to me for doing this interview. No.
Hang on, guys. Yeah, we need quiet. Yeah. Is it the truth?
Yes, everything that I say at this interview will be the truth.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's start with, how did you meet?
Somebody in the chat said, funny thing, she hasn't said anything till now. This was in 2016. A lot of the victims came out and have been coming out since the 2000s. But the thing is that nobody ever cared about them. And because no one ever cared about them, the American people are now the victims of the same people. And what these victims were told, according to their testimonies by Ghislaine Maxwell, was that There's nothing you can do about it because we own the police, we own the FBI, and we own the DA. That's what people like her were being told, allegedly by victims. They have said this. It's been corroborated. So this is one of them that said something that according to her was under death threats, like many have said, right? One ended her life, by the way. Yeah, sadly enough, right? It takes a lot to try to come out when you're a victim of these types of crimes of powerful people that tell you we own the DA, we own the FBI, we own the police. That's kind of, and you get death threats and no one does anything about it. It's hard to stand on your own. So this is one of the people. This is 2016. This is not yesterday. It's not just now.
I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump.
And how old were you when you...
So 3 or 4 times that she had encounters with Donald Trump, according to her words, that's if you even care.
When you met him?
I was 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
She was 13, according to her words, when she met Donald Trump. That's even if you care about 13-year-old girls. Many of you don't.
And how did the initial meeting, how did that work?
Whew. The first time that I met Donald Trump was...
Guys, seriously.
Okay, you can hear that?
We need absolute quiet.
Okay, sorry.
And the first time that I met Donald Trump was at a party at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion.
First time she met Donald Trump, the first time she met Donald Trump was at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. So, Donald Trump, apparently he always says, I never been to Epstein Isle. Well, have you been to Epstein's mansion, Donald Trump?
There was an orgy going on, and he was kind of watching off in the distance.
There was an orgy going on, according to her, and Donald Trump was watching off in the distance. I don't know how many people of you know what that is. That's a place, a room full of people having sex, an orgy.
And he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job. And
right. And she asked him if he asked her if she would come over and give him a hand job or something like that. I'm going to play it again. Listen, Tia, do me a favor. Send me an email. Look on the YouTube page and send me an email, and then so I can rap to you about your comment there. And make sure you leave an email I can hit you back on, and we take it from there. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And at first, I wasn't very comfortable with it. And he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job. And at first, I wasn't very comfortable with it. This was like my first party, and I didn't think that was my responsibility. But my recruiter told me that I needed to do it, so I agreed to. And then he, I began to. Sorry, this is a little difficult, but before I gave him a hand job, he kind of slapped my hand away and said, "You need to use a glove." And the recruiter ran over and handed me a glove and said, "No one touches Mr. Trump's penis without a glove." So I needed to use a glove. I gave him a hand job, and then immediately after, he had an orgasm, he left, and I didn't see him again at that point.
You hear somebody in the chat, Vic Boyd, are you so stupid? She's not an adult. She's not a 13-year-old girl when she's describing the events. Are you clueless? What the heck? Vince said a 13-year-old girl wouldn't know what an orgy was. This is ridiculous. I mean, anyway, let's go on.
That party.
And the person having the party, who is this person?
It was Mr. Jeffrey Epstein was having the party.
And for those who don't know, who is Jeffrey Epstein?
As Jeffrey Epstein is...
Yeah, this is Katie Johnson, I believe that's right.
One of... Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's that was responsible for throwing the sex parties.
Right. So, sex parties. Not one, not two, well, two, maybe two, but it sounds to me like generally when you add that S, parties, it sounds like they're talking about often, and so, again, what pops in my mind right there is, hey, Pam Bondi, have you ever heard of this instance? Why don't we get some news media asking Pam Bondi? Why don't we get legacy media? Now, keep in mind, legacy media, they got the tax breaks from Trump, all of them, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't matter. And I'm not accusing just them of not all doing the best job whatsoever, but this is legacy media. So a lot of times, if they're not total propaganda, then they would be concerned about lawsuits, or they would be concerned, especially under this administration, or they would be concerned about getting, their FCC license revoked under this administration, or they would be concerned about, just fallout, whatever fallout. But I think this stuff has been disseminated enough to the public to where it would have repercussions either way. I mean, these are just basic questions. There's no way in hell Pam Bondi does not know about this case. But when was the last time you heard legacy media ask, what does Pam Bondi know about these cases? Because right now, she knows a lot. She's known a lot from the beginning, right? Acosta, how much does Acosta know about these cases? None of these people were called to be subpoenaed in the congressional hearings. You see what I mean? So to me, it seems like Americans, because of this Epstein files, there's a lot to it about the freedom of the U.S. and a lot to what is going on today, how Trump is making decisions internationally and nationally. There seems to be a lot of people, a lot of strange things that have gone on under the Trump administration that threaten freedom of the United States of America on every level whatsoever. And it just seems to me, myself, that means the public can no longer allow people to not let these issues be addressed openly, and Trump is obviously using the U.S. military against American citizens. So there's no more room left. There's just no more room left. American people can't give up more of their freedom. It's just not possible. Not to these people, because these people will do anything to suppress these Epstein files. And it even means if they have to use the military to create or the police or the FBI or ICE or the feds or the National Guard, if they have to use these people to try to create a civil war, that means harass American citizens so much that American citizens have to go to arms just to protect their freedom because the state no longer will. It seems to me like Trump will be willing to do that just to evade these Epstein files being released. Like, it's that bad. It's that bad, So, yeah, I hope people stand up against this. I hope people, and don't understand, just because Trump wants a civil war, he would want that obviously to evade responsibility. That, his regime, anybody with his regime would rather a civil war happen than for them to go to jail, for them to be found to be treasonous. They would rather have anything else happen than for them to have a new regime, a new government come in power that prosecutes them, this time rapidly. You know, they know what they are doing are crimes, and they're doing it openly, flagrantly. They're not concerned about putting American citizens on airplanes and shipping them to another country. They're not concerned about that. They're not concerned about terrorizing you right now. Wearing masks, that's obviously there to invoke terror and fear. That's the whole point of wearing a mask, to not identify yourself, just show up and grab people. The whole concept is to create terror among the American people. So, you know, people should just keep that in mind, that I understand that. Normal people understand that. Europeans even understand that. Look, I'm going to catch up on this. Somebody asked me to do a podcast on this, and I am going to follow up on this because I'm in the EU. Although I'm an American citizen, I'm from Washington, D.C., born and raised. My family on both sides goes all the way back to the beginnings of the country, right? But having said that, Europeans are not happy about Trump at all. I mean, they see Trump as a threat to Europe, essentially. And there's a lot of reports about this. It's not looking good when you talk about how Europeans feel about Trump. They do feel, and these are conservative numbers. The numbers go up even higher. You know, 63% say Trump's election makes the world less safe. 51% say Trump is a longtime massive EU skeptic, right? But there's more. I mean, these are the conservative outlets now. These are conservative outlets, and hold on, let me get this together. Yeah, these are conservative outlets because there's more that are actually newer than this and that are actually just calling Trump an enemy of the EU, you know, and and a threat to life. So American citizens inside, I know when you watch legacy media, Fox News is not talking about what the EU news organizations say. CNN is not talking about what the EU news organizations say. They're not talking about what the rest of the world is saying. And a lot of these MAGA people, they could care less about what anybody else is saying while they're promoting you wearing a mask and going into American states and towns and terrorizing people. You know, so Europeans don't see that as normal. They see that as authoritarian. And because a lot of our economy is tied into the success of the EU also. You see, it's tied into the success of the people we trade with mostly. And we, by large, trade heavily with the EU. You see, so they impact our lives, and Americans impact their lives too. If the housing market crashes in the United States, which it's likely to do because these people like to crash the economy and then go in and buy up more land themselves, these private corporations, it affects Europe. And Europe has a different view of housing, though. They don't believe one corporation or just a few people should own all the land. They believe that there should be affordable housing. They believe that there should be access to health care for everyone. They believe that everyone should have a right to education. So these crashes that keep happening in the U.S., it affects them too. And at some point, they're going to start seeing that as a threat to their lives. You know, so in any case, I'll be back on that, y'all. I appreciate it. Do me a favor. Who was it that I asked to call me earlier to send me an email? Who was that? I'm going to look back on the podcast. Send me an email so I can link up a few more mods. The email is on the channel. Please do that. You'll find that in the section, you know, the about section. And I appreciate everybody else for listening. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And so you can get the notifications. My next podcast is going to be at a different frame. So it's not going to be optimized for mobiles, although you can watch it on a mobile. It's going to be optimized 16:9 for desktop because I'm going to be having a few things with me, a few components that I can't bring on when I'm doing the cast from my mobile. So just be aware of that. So it's important to subscribe, because the way YouTube sends out their algorithm, the way they send out the notifications, they send it out largely based on the format. If you're subscribed, and then the format. So if you're not subscribed and your normal way of watching YouTube is on your mobile, you may get the notification much later. And so that's why I'm saying that. So if you want to make sure you always get the notifications and are aware when I'm live, subscribe right now. And you'll have that opportunity to do that. On the next note, I appreciate everybody. Be safe until later on today, and bless all of y'all. Peace. Yeah. And big up to Gavin Newsom. Big up to Gavin Newsom and the Democrats out there. Thank you so much.
They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack, and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't fear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war.